Hey, how's it going? This is Joe, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Nvidia Shield. So as you may know, I own a bunch of different streaming devices. I have a Fire TV, I have a Chromecast, I've had different versions of the Apple TV, the Roku. I've even had the Logitech Review, one of the first Android TV boxes. It's not something that you want connected to your home theater system. You know, your home theater, you expect it to work perfectly. And I've always been interested in this concept of having a computer on your TV in the living room situation. And I even made a video a long time ago about HTPC home theater PCs. Why would I want to use my TV as my computer monitor? Then I'd much rather sit here in a more comfortable spot. And as you can tell, I use this a lot. And of course, I'm listening to this on my home theater system. Don't try to look that up. And then in 2015, I saw that they came out with the Nvidia Shield. That was the first gen version. And I was really surprised at the specs at the time because it was way beyond what anybody else was doing. This review is going to be on the new version, the 2017 version. I was always hesitant to buy that one just because I figured, like the Amazon Fire TV, that they're always updating it. They're always changing something, and I didn't want to buy something that was going to be out of date in a few months. The surprising thing is the 2015 version is still very popular to this very day. It's 2018 now, so I kind of wish I would have bought it back in 2015 so I could have enjoyed it for the past 3 years. The thing that's special about this is that Nvidia keeps adding more and more features. Recently, it was updated to Oreo. I just read last week that it now has Amazon Alexa support, things like that. And the reason they're able to do that is because the processing power is way beyond what other people are doing. And so it's able to handle these new updates. And the fact that they continue to support and update this 3-year-old device means that there's a solid community around the Nvidia Shield. Now let's first take a look at the hardware. So obviously this is a beautiful design, and this new version is smaller than I expected. The processor is using the Nvidia Tegra X1, 16 gigabytes of internal storage. You can add external storage using a USB drive, and there's a list of approved Nvidia drives that are fast enough to be able to support that. And this is not just for holding music or photos or videos. The system is actually smart enough to use the external drive to put apps on it. You can also spend $100 extra and get a 500 gigabyte model. It comes with 2 USB ports, which is handy because I was able to plug in an old Logitech webcam, and I was able to use Duo to be able to talk to people on my big projector. See, it's just things like that that you're able to do on this device that you wouldn't even think of doing on any other device. Now, it wasn't designed to do it, but it was cool that I was able to. It has an Ethernet port, which is important because Ethernet is always going to be faster than a wireless connection, and there is a difference, and it's important especially because you can use this device for gaming. In those scenarios, you want the lowest latency possible. With that Ethernet port, you're also able to transfer files quickly between different computers and the Nvidia Shield. The new version has an IR remote control with touch control, and that's a little bit different than the previous version that had a rechargeable battery. I was a little bit concerned about that, but according to Nvidia's website, the batteries in this remote are expected to last up to a year. Now, compared to my Fire TV remote that lasts maybe a few days with a rechargeable battery, I'm pretty happy with that. It also comes with a game controller, which I would highly recommend. Originally, I didn't think I'd want it, but seeing the features on this, you're definitely gonna want it. Spend the extra 20 bucks or whatever it is and get the controller for sure. So the controller has a plug for headphone, which comes in handy if you're gonna be listening to music or playing games late at night. When you plug in the wired headphones, it automatically switches to those and turns off the rest of the speakers. The controller also has a rumble pack, so you get that feedback. Very nice controller, and one of the best controllers I've felt in my hand. They've really put a lot of thought into this. For example, on the remote control, the right joystick actually acts as a cursor so you can move that around, and the left one just works as the up, down, left, and right. They also have a dedicated Shield TV app, which you can also use as a mouse cursor or when you have to type in those long passwords. You'll find microphones on both the remote and the controller. And the reason why that's important is because of the smart home capabilities. Previously, I've reviewed the Xiaomi Mi Box, and the reason I wanted that is because it had the official Android TV operating system like this Nvidia Shield does. I wanted to be able to talk into the mic and give it instructions the way that I'm able to do with my phone. Okay, Google, set the living room nest to 75. I'm a firm believer that Google has the best assistant out there, and I wanted to use that on this device. Luckily, unlike the Mi Box, the assistant works extremely well on this, and that's because of the processing power once again. It worked quickly, and it worked every time. So this device has a lot of surprises, and one of those surprises is the fact that you can put the device to sleep and it'll still take voice commands, meaning that you can turn it on and off using your voice. Okay, Google, turn off. Okay, Google, turn on. So the way I have it set up to turn on right now is I actually have it connected to my Denon receiver, and so using CEC, it turns that on and off when I turn the Nvidia Shield on and off. I did not turn that on for my projector, and the reason why is I kind of wanted to use this as a giant Google Home speaker. And so my entire system is a Google Home speaker. I can tell it what to do, I can tell it what music to play, and it doesn't necessarily have to turn on my TV. Another thing that I noticed about this device is that CEC works really well. And CEC allows the Nvidia Shield to control your TV or your receiver. So I've had it where the volume controlled the actual receiver's volume and it worked just fine. Alternatively, you can have it turn your TV on and off and change the volume on your TV as well. I should also mention that these remotes are special because instead of a typical volume control, these controllers have a touch bar. You can move your finger up and down and it'll change the volume accordingly. So I said that Nvidia Shield had a lot of surprises, and another one of those surprises is how good gaming is on this. So they have a large library of games and you can take a look at some of them here. A ton of well-known games. And I wasn't quite sure how the streaming box was gonna be able to play those games, considering that those games require some pretty intense graphic cards. And I found out later on that I'm able to stream these games using the GeForce Now servers. Now you'd expect a bunch of input lag and latency on that, but I didn't really experience any of that, at least with the games I was playing. So they have these servers that are rendering these games and playing these games, and you'd think that that would cost money, but it doesn't. It's free. The graphics were surprisingly good. They were running at 4K, 60 frames per second, no problem.
Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Another surprise is I have some old Steam games. I have some racing games like Assetto Corsa and Project Cars. I logged into my Steam account and boom, they were all there and they all worked. They actually ran a lot faster and smoother than when I was trying to run it off my MacBook Pro using Boot Camp. Wasn't a great scenario, but anyway, my point is that this system was able to run it a lot better than my MacBook Pro. So I had an old Bluetooth Moga controller and I was curious to see whether it would work. Set it up, boom, started working immediately. So I tried some emulators just to see if I could get the old Mortal Kombat 2 arcade version to work. It worked perfectly. In MK2, it's all about katana, by the way.
Katana wins. Flawless victory.
The other cool feature is using Nvidia Share. You're able to record screenshots, you're able to stream to Twitch directly, and you're able to record gameplay at 30 frames per second. That's all built into the system. There's nothing else that you have to get. It all just works. As a cord cutting device, I think it's one of the best, and I think it's one of the reasons why most people would be interested in something like this. Because it's running Android TV, it has the official version of Chromecast, so you can Chromecast directly to it. So I didn't need my Chromecast anymore. Because it's also an official device, it's also able to run the official version of Netflix at full resolution. It has Amazon Prime built in, and it worked perfectly, so I don't need my Amazon Fire TV anymore. The other thing that this can do that I don't think any other Android TV box or any other device can do is actually run as a Plex server. So now I don't have to keep my computer on. I can actually just plug in an external hard drive, run the Plex server. Now I can access my own content anywhere in the world. It supports Dolby Atmos, which I've tried and it works perfectly. It supports 4K HDR. And if you're looking to use this for over-the-air broadcast TV, you can get some of these USB devices, plug it in, and it should work. I know a lot of people who use the HD Home Run to be able to stream their cable all around the house, and this supports that. So I've logged into some of my favorite channels like HGTV, Food Network, HBO Go, and now I'm able to watch all of those things here on the Nvidia Shield. Actually, if I were to take this on vacation with me, I'd be able to stream it anywhere I went. Of course, you can get services like YouTube TV, Sling TV, DirecTV Now, PlayStation View, and a lot of those have built-in DVR. And if not, you can also use Plex to DVR some of your programs as well. For music, it works extremely well. You can use it with Spotify, Google Play Music, Pandora. I use it with Tidal as well. This also works with other Google Home devices. So you can tell Google Home to play something on the Nvidia Shield and it'll do it no problem. Play video on Shield.
Retail on one of those. More than you can afford, pal. Ferrari.
And the other thing that makes it special is just overall horsepower. It has more processing power than most devices out there. Now, I can't go without saying a few cons. I can't set timers on this with my voice like you can with a Google Home, but that's a restriction that Google has set. If that were enabled, then I wouldn't really need my Google Home in the kitchen because I could just talk to the Nvidia Shield and set my timers from there. The other quirky thing is that I noticed that volume is different if it's running off a DTS or Dolby Digital signal than if I were to play off a regular stereo signal like something from YouTube. So the volume can fluctuate. This is all just nitpicking from here. Also, the thing that you might hear other people complaining about is the volume control is a bit touchy. So sometimes I'll go to reach for the remote, it'll start changing the volume just with my palm. So luckily there are a lot of third-party remotes for this, some with regular volume controls. So since receiving the Nvidia Shield to review, I've disconnected my Chromecast, my Amazon Fire TV, because this device does everything those things do, plus more. It's also replaced my Google Home. I know that I said it couldn't do timers, but I just use my phone now. And you can tell there was just a lot of thought put into this. Everything works extremely well. The setup was smooth. I just logged in with my phone and it automatically set itself up from there. Everything just works seamlessly. So it's the best streaming device hands down. I wish I would have bought this thing a long time ago. Where did this baby come from? So yeah, don't waste your time on any of the other devices. Just get this. If you're thinking that you may want some of the features that this offers, just skip the others, just get this one. So I'm gonna leave a link in the description to find this on Amazon. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you wanna listen to my podcast, it's at patreon.com/JoeAndTell. Anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.